What's up, everybody? What's up, man?
Oh, what's up?
BHUWAN.
Hey, Ryan.
What up, BHUWAN?
Not much, man. Just got back last week. I'm like recovering for the last 1 week. I had a cold and I thought I got COVID. So I was stuck at airport for a while.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It was brutal. Going to India, oh man, that's brutal.
How was
Hang on. Guys, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
how was the trip, BHUWAN?
Was good. Yeah, it was really good. It was a quick trip, like 5-6 day trip. I got sick after that, but I couldn't train last week, but now I'm back on it. So I'm gonna send you a check-in next week, like around Friday or Saturday, so you can
Perfect.
see. But yeah, good trip. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Getting everything situated to finish off the year and then start off 2022 with a bang.
I want to come down to LA, like maybe like in January or maybe like February for like a couple of days. I'll let you know. We'll get some training in.
Awesome.
All right, fellas. Sorry, I had to grab my headphones. Hey, we got one more person joining us here. We're going to get it started.
All right.
What's up, guys?
All right. What's up?
All good, man. How are you?
All right, here we go. All right, everybody. We got Ryan Benson, Team Zero Gravity in the building. We got BHUWAN CHAUHAN, the pride of India, India's first men's physique champion, three-time Olympian. Three-time, right, BHUWAN?
Yeah, 3 times now.
Three-time Olympian, pro show champion. And then we have Manoj, the 2019 overall winner of India Amateur Olympia IFBB Pro Men's Physique.
Thank you.
Fellas,
let's go.
How's everybody doing?
All good, sir. Hi, sir. Hi, Ravan, sir. How are you?
Doing good.
Omar has better hair than
Omar said Manoj has better hair.
I'll have better hair than you, though.
Who's got better hair, Ryan?
Everybody's got better hair than me.
Better hair.
Oh my goodness. Hey man, so we had a really good talk on here the other night, and we were just talking about the upcoming guys coming out of India and all the talent that they have over there. And it was an interesting question asked of who's the top men's physique guy out of India.
Mm-hmm.
We had lots of different names get brought up, a lot of different opinions. People in the chat were really engaged, and they were all giving their opinions. It's an interesting topic, man. You guys,
interesting.
There's not a lot of.
I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's a very easy answer. I usually stay quiet on this topic, but let's talk about it. There's only one answer. There is no interesting topic on this. There's one guy has been the best and will always be the best.
Oh, well, to be fair, what some of these guys have said is this. They haven't had the shows over in India and the opportunities to step on the pro stages.
Who stopped them? This shows in Asia, this shows in Thailand, this shows Ryan has guys competing in Thailand, in China, and he's been to China. Come on, like this shows everywhere. The flights to China is $300. There was just a show in Asia just like, a couple of weeks ago? So what's stopping them? Why do you want to compete in US and Canada? And if you want to compete in US and Canada, come get some.
All right. Manoj, my man.
There's a different thing, that's a called mentality. BHUWAN is like a very mature guy, and he think and work like a work ethics. So for him, it's like very easy, but staying in India and traveling, the visa problem, ye problem, mo problem, COVID. For last 2 years, I'm trying. Like 2020, I was trying for New York Pro. After that, this year also for 2021, I was trying for Texas Pro. But both the time COVID happened and everything is shut. Like no visa, nothing, no flight. So there are so many problems.
So what you're saying is being in India, Bhuwan, you're not in India, by the way. Let me make sure everyone knows that you're in Canada. So
Yep.
you're not actually having to travel out of India. These guys are saying that they've been having trouble trying to get out of India to get to these shows in other countries.
Yeah, but the other thing is you didn't plan it well ahead in advance. This visas are for 5 and 10 years. You could have applied for visa in 2016 and 17. Why are you waiting for so long? And you just need a tourist visa. I know the rules. Trust me. Like my girlfriend just tried to come. Yeah, I know the rules. Like I have clients all over the world as well. Ryan has clients all over the world. Those guys are everywhere. Like you want to go from India to China, it's pretty easy. Like apart from COVID, you want to go to Thailand, you don't even need a visa. There was a Thailand Pro Show, and there's a Kuwait Pro Show in January. What's stopping these guys? There's a
Yeah.
Kuwait Show in
Bon,
January.
Bon. Actually, China, whenever I choose a show, na, just because happened, just because of COVID.
It's because
Otherwise,
you're only focusing on US shows. Obviously, US gonna ban India, and Canada has banned India until September. Everybody knew that's gonna happen, but there are
China as well, bro. China as
China
well
banned
ban
every.
Indians. And
China has
Thailand
this shows
show
in
didn't
Korea.
happen last year.
No, but I'm
And
talking
look,
about right.
let's
There's
make this simple.
don't need a
Let's
visa.
make this simple. Look, I'll sponsor whoever is the #1 contender to compete against the Buwan to get to the show, so we can hand them their ass and send them
It's
back.
not, well, listen. Well,
I
listen.
want to make
Right
an
now, I think that
statement. I have 4 pro shows next year before I even go to Olympia.
hey,
And
Bhuwan.
I'm not going to announce all the shows here because that's something me and Ryan have talked about. But I'm going to tell you one show that I'm doing, which is the easiest show for you to come in. Any Indian who's watching it right now, I'm doing Toronto Pro Show 2022 in Canada. Easiest visa to get, easiest show to come to. It's a 14-hour flight direct from Delhi to Toronto. I'm going to be there. Whoever wants to come compete against me, come on that stage and let's get it.
Okay, so what
When,
is the
bro,
date
when?
for what is the date for that show?
That is on June, I believe it's June 7th or June 2nd.
So June 2nd, in June, you said any guy from India that wants to see you on stage, come to Toronto Pro.
Doing Toronto Pro, and there is no visa problem. I just checked. Visas for Canada are open from October. Ryan doesn't need to sponsor anybody either. I will personally give a letter of invitation. I gave it to Manoj in 2018, a letter of invitation to come
Yes,
to
yes.
Canada. I'll personally give a letter of invitation. I'm competing in June in Toronto Pro Show. Come and get some.
Hey, well,
Sure.
listen,
I'll
I don't
definitely,
think there's any. I don't think there's
I'll
any.
definitely come, bro. Definitely, I'll come. Let's go.
He'll
Sure.
come. He said he'll
Let's do
come.
it together,
So
man. Let's
listen,
do it
Do
together.
it.
I don't think there's any denying this
I want
fact.
you guys to come. I want every Indian, every person from India to come to that show and compete against me.
Buwan, let me ask you this question. I don't think that there's anyone that's denying that you're the most decorated, the most successful men's physique pro. But the question is, my question to you is, do you think that any of these guys could stand next to you and have the physique to beat you?
My thing is, until you get on a pro stage, you don't know what you look like against the top pros. I feel like
Exactly.
about 15 pro shows so far, competing against every single Olympian. Not a single Olympian I haven't competed with, or most of them I've actually beaten. So what I'm trying to say here is like, until you get on the pro stage, you don't know what you're. It's very easy to go at an amateur show against 800 amateur guys and think that you have what it takes to be at the Olympia stage. But when you stand next to these guys, and I have been there myself, I've placed all the way from first to all the way to 13th. I've placed everywhere in between, right? And I know that it's very different when you're on stage with these people, and it takes it. You start at the bottom. So when people and when athletes think that right off the bat they can go to the Olympia in their first or second show, I want them to show it and prove it. Because from my point of view, that is not possible. Unless you're Eric Banks. Even Eric Banks couldn't win his first show until he went to the Olympia. So he had to go through the whole system. There is a way of making
Exactly.
so none of these guys have the experience to get on the pro stage. So it's not that I'm not saying that I'm the best and I will like, oh, like these guys have to come beat me and this and that. My point of view is like, get on a pro stage, see where you stand, and then talk.
Right.
And if the question is just me versus them, if this is what's the whole hype is around, if it's like, oh, like I can beat Bhuwan because he doesn't have this, he has this, I have better chest, I have better back. well, then come against me. All the other Olympians
No,
have
no, no,
than me
bro,
too. That
bro. We're all Indians. We're all Indian athletes. Respect from heart. Don't worry. Don't think like that. You know, कि हम athlete like where athletes think bad about you because you are competing in Olympia. We're really proud of you. I'm saying bottom of my heart. You know, we respect you a lot because and you are a three-time Olympian. You learn so many things over there in USA or Canada. Whatever you learn, and you know, we're just trying to keep in myself, you know. So I try my best to do best thing like you are doing. Yeah. So don't think like that.
Manoj, you said you have better chest than me and you are wider than me. I think that's what you said.
Nah.
Um,
Minute
Ben,
I said my about
there's
myself.
a lot of stuff here that people are saying they have better one body part, another body part. So
Nine
you would
any
know that, Ben.
what
I didn't do your interviews as well as you do the interviews, right, Ben?
no.
So
No, bro,
talk of
I said कि my chest and my shoulder is my chest, shoulder, and my back is my plus point. And arm, I said arm. I said tricep, bicep a little weak, but he's working on it, and definitely day by day he's growing. I said like that, man.
hey, you know what, fellas? It's like this. This is bodybuilding. We can't be sensitive in bodybuilding. So it's like this. It's a subjective sport, but it's also you're being judged against another man. Manoj, you don't have to back down. If you feel like you have a better body and a better physique than Bhuwan, then fucking say it. Bhuwan's right there. If you feel like your physique is better than his, tell him I feel like my physique is better. And then you go out on stage and you prove it.
Right.
Yep. Look,
now, I have the better structure, and men's physique is about structure. It's
Yes.
overall. I have a smaller waist. I have wider shoulders. I may not have the best chest, but this is not the game of best chest. It's about a flow of physique. And a flow of physique, I would say right here, I have a better flow of physique.
Hey, Manoj, can you show everyone what you look like? Because some people may not be familiar with you. Can you show them what your physique look like? Can you show the picture
Yeah, I'll show you the picture.
from your competition? Show a
Yeah,
picture.
one second.
So he hasn't been on stage since 2019, guys. So you know he'll show a picture of when he won amateur Olympia in India.
I'll show you one second. Let's post
I
it.
mean, you've been putting in work. You look good. I said that when I seen the guy. I said, okay, he looks good. Like absolutely. I want to see what he looks like standing next to other pros. The same thing that you said, Bhuwan.
What
I
I said,
think
Exactly. I didn't
I
say bad word,
don't
bro.
anybody until they start comparing to me. But I've always said the same thing. I was like, get on the pro stage, get against the guys. Not me. I mean, I can be up there, but just get on a pro stage to get against these guys. I would want Ryan to say something here because he coaches amateurs, he coaches pros, he coaches Olympians, he coaches us too. Be me and you both. So
Absolutely.
he would be a better judge to say this that when an amateur turns pro and the journey from the pro to the Olympian.
look, I have athletes all over the world. I got a lot of athletes in India. The talent in India is definitely picking up in the last several years. I think a big reason for that is because of Bhuwan's presence in the IFBB has shown a lot of the Indian athletes that it's possible to come to the United States to compete and to qualify for the Olympia. Because prior to this, there's never been another Indian athlete at the Olympia.
Right.
So, you know, he has been the trendsetter and been the person who's made it possible for a lot of these guys to have the dream to do what Bhuwan's doing. So that being said, I do think that Bhuwan is about 5 years ahead of everybody.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Bhuwan is very
So
experienced guy because
you
he
know,
did a lot of shows. So he's
he's
obviously
competed. He knows
experienced.
what it takes. There's a lot of aspects to competing, more than just dieting down and getting on stage for the first time. And you know what happens with the nerves and all these other things of knowing how to handle getting ready to compete on the big level, like at a pro stage, trying to get, especially at the Olympia, right? We know a lot of guys crumble once they're trying to get ready for that first Olympia. Pressure hits and they start falling apart. Knowing how to strategize your season, knowing your body. Bhuwan's been competing so much longer. He knows his body. He knows the timing. We've had years of being able to know what successful preps were, where we made failures, And so now we've ironed out all those things, right? So we have a game plan going into a pro show, knowing how we need to look next to these guys, right? So a lot of guys, when they first turn pro, they do make a couple of mistakes, whether they're trying to come in too big or they're trying to come in, feeling like they got to get bigger to come on the stage, right? And there's all these insecurities and these things that guys need to adjust going from the amateur to the pro league. But Ben, too, I mean, you've been a pro for a couple of years. This has been like a breakout year for you, but it takes a minute in the pro league, not only to look the part, but to have made enough of a statement in the industry with the judges, recognizing that you've been steadily improving and proving yourself to belong in that top level, right?
Yeah.
So unless you're a guy that comes out of the gates who is just absolutely breathtakingly crushing everybody in the show, you're going to have to do a few shows before you catch the attention of the people that are putting you in your placings, right? So, there's a lot of things that come along with that. So I think it's definitely, as a rookie coming out and competing out here, it's going to be hard to, at the first show, to get a look, unless you're one of these E-Banks kind of guys that just showed up undeniable, right?
I think we can say right now also that this is the best opportunity for new people to come out. We can say that the men's physique is taking a bit of a turn, and it's becoming more so about how you look on that day versus what your name is. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, that's been definitely happening a lot lately, and I like it. I think it's a good change for the industry. And that being said, just like you just said, BHUWAN just won a show this year with them no longer just placing names.
Yeah.
So that solidifies the fact that it's not just because he's got 200 million followers or whatever it is, but he's just that damn good, right?
Yeah.
Because he was up on stage next to Joseph Lee, who's another one of my athletes, right? And he beat Joe. Joe took second, and then Joe went on to go take 10th at the Olympia 2 weeks later. So that kind of gives you an idea of where BHUWAN stands right now amongst the top pros. 2 weeks before the Olympia, he beat somebody who took 10th.
Yeah, very true.
No, I'm just ready with a video. Just want to show you.
So, okay, Manoj, show everyone. Is this from this year's prep, getting ready for Texas Pro?
Yeah, this is my gaining form, I can say.
Manoj, how tall are you?
Huh?
How tall are you? Your height?
5'7", 170 centimeter.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I'm impressed with this physique. I said it reminds me a bit of a damn near similar to a Jeremy Buendia. Maybe not as good of a poser, but his physique reminds me of that when I saw it, like for the first time. That's a compliment. His physique looks good.
Absolutely. It's got a great physique.
He's not missing any body parts. He's not lacking anything. His posing needs some work, but other than that, I said, damn, this guy's dangerous.
Oh, he's got a great physique. I mean, and there's a lot of guys around the world with great physiques. Hell, I just came back from the Masters USAs this weekend where there was a guy who was like 55 years old that Omar did, that Johnny Sebastian coaches.
Oh, yeah.
And 55 years old, and he looked fucking phenomenal. Right?
Like a machine.
The thing with that is he has the density, he has the size, he's had that always, like 9 years of him competing. But men's physique is about small white shoulders. He doesn't have a small waist, right? So when you don't have something that you need for a division, you have to work on other body parts, and you won't know that until you get on a pro stage and you start competing against the other top guys. So for me, I look at his physique. I've always talked to him about it too. Like, it's great physique, everything's great, but the waist isn't there. So in order for that waist to get smaller, you have to get wider up top. And for that, that'll take time. But we won't know until he gets on stage against the pro guys. Because when you're doing posing against a mirror and you are not on stage, I post videos like that all the time. When you do that versus when you're on stage, it's a world of a difference for most people. You would agree that, Ben? Like, you've seen a lot of guys. We see a lot of pros who, even at that level, like when you come against a mirror versus when you're up on stage,
Oh yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
there's a lot of Instagram Olympia champions. You know,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I do it myself. Like, there are so many of my videos that I post on my mirror when the angles and lighting and everything is just perfect. You're filled up and you're just like at that angle. But on stage, doing a prep, doing a peak week, and then you have to step, no matter what, you have to come straight on. You're going to walk, they're going to see you when you're straight on, you're going to pose. It's different.
I think the biggest thing is just gonna say this. You have to get on the stage, and when we see, that's when we'll know. Like,
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
I say it
That's
all
the
the
main
time.
thing
I'm like,
actually.
just get on a stage and let your placing do the talking. There's been other pros from me that have done the same thing in the past with me when I wasn't even an Olympian. Like when I wasn't even going to Olympia, they used to do the same thing. They will talk a lot. They'll post all these videos on Instagram, but then when they get on stage, they're second callouts, and
well,
then they quit.
I'm going to say something here that part of being a professional, right? And we're talking about this not just as a professional athlete, but the guys that I have that are the most successful on stage are also the most successful off because they're professional in their life, professional on stage. So if this is something that somebody wants to take to the highest level, then you're going to take care of everything you need to do in your life to make that situation happen. Clearly, BHUWAN has done that by putting himself in the right place where he needs to be.
Exactly, exactly.
He gave up,
That's the perfect thing.
he gave up a career in engineering to pursue his job or to pursue his career in bodybuilding, right? And made those moves and did this because he chased his dream, he chased his passion, he made it happen. That should be a great inspiration for all the athletes from India to be able to follow in the footsteps. He gave you the game plan or the blueprint of how you can get it done.
yeah. Hey, make no mistake. I don't think that any of the guys that's ever spoke on you, Buwan, I don't think any of them had any bad intentions or anything negative to say about you.
Nothing like that. Nothing,
Just talking
nothing.
in
With
comparison,
respect.
only speaking in comparison to bodybuilding and such. But other than that, it's all praise for you. That's all I've ever gotten from these guys is praise from you.
I am always there helping them all. Like I talk to Manoj all the time about helping him. I told you, like I got his visa done in 2018. I don't think this is about supporting and non-supporting. I think this is more about the fact that you're comparing your physique to mine. Like I can sit here all day and talk that I have a better back than Brendan
Well,
Rickson.
you know, that's
Face.
bodybuilding, though.
No,
People
no, but that's
compare
what I'm
Arnold
saying. Like it's
Schwarzenegger to Ronnie
Bhuvan,
Coleman.
objective.
They compare
Bhuvan,
Phil
I
Heath to
didn't say
Ronnie Coleman.
anything.
It's
Huh? I
bodybuilding.
didn't say anything. You
Exactly.
can
So
see.
I think it's more about when you haven't done a pro show and you're taking on a guy that has been consistently doing 15, 16 pro shows and you are trying to make yourself one body part is better than the other and other. I think it's more about that than taking inspiration or talking positive or negative. I'm not here. I've always helped every single Indian out there. I actually went to the India Pro Show this year. I handed out the trophies. I handed out the trophies while talking to every single guy. Backstage, I helped with the posing. I've helped Omar's guy pose. In 2019, I went his client. It wasn't even my client. It was his client, Bharat Raj. I helped him with his posing. I've helped Ryan's guy posing. So I've helped every guy in India, whatever way I can to help them. So I don't think this is about the helping part. This is more about that you're taking a hit on me, trying to make it seem that you're better than me. And all I'm trying to say here is that first get on a pro stage, compete against the pros, and then maybe also compete against me. I'm never denying that fact. Just come and compete against me.
Can we say that? I mean, Buwan, like realistically, it is bodybuilding though, and it's all about comparison and comparing. Like, if I think that if someone is comparing to you, you should almost look at it in a good way because hey, they're talking about you. They're comparing themselves to the best. That's like people they compare themselves like, hey, let me see how this
Comparing
guy
is
compares.
good. Ben, comparing is good. Talking shit is not. Okay, especially against me. Like if you're gonna try to downplay what I've achieved and what I've done so far, not just for myself but also for the whole country, to be able to dream that. Nowadays, when you go to India, people they don't talk about becoming a pro. They talk about straight to going to Olympia. Like all the guys I talked to at the amateur Olympia before they did the results, nobody was talking that I want to be a pro. Straight up, they
So
talked about I want to be
no one is
Olympia.
denying what you've done for India. Ryan
When
stated
you're
No one is.
everything,
comparing,
the
when you're
impact of it.
comparing,
Exactly.
you're comparing,
What?
talking down on me, and you're trying to say that okay, this thing is better, or like you are better. If you are better, then prove it. Just don't just talk it. If you're going to continuously say that, I'm not going to sit here and just be like, okay, yeah, you're better than me, or I'm just going to keep quiet. I've always stayed quiet. This is the first time I've said something. I focus, I do my thing, I just do my Olympias, I do my shows, and I just stay quiet. But now, because things are actually heating up, there's more pros coming out of India. People think that there's a lot of talent coming out of India. Everybody wants a piece of that market as well. So there's a lot more hype around that market. So I just wanted to get on here and just make that clear that, hey, if you're going to take a hit on me, if you're going to try to downplay me and you're going to say that your one body part is better than mine, I'm also here to tell you that, hey, why don't you just come and compete against me? And here's your chance. I'm telling you a show that I'm doing. Let's see.
He accepted that challenge. Manoj, you're going to see him in Toronto Pro, right?
डेफिनेटली एक्चुअली भुवन भाई मैंने कुछ भी नहीं बोला मतलब आप जाके you can go and watch that live. I nothing said
No,
bad
I'm
about
not
you.
talking about Manoj. Manoj, I'm not talking about you though. Like I'm talking in general. I feel like this is
Okay.
something. It's not you. It's just something that is in general is happening. I never
Okay.
said you. I think it's never been a point of what you said. I'm just saying in general
Exactly.
something
Hey,
that.
Buwan,
I was thinking you're talking about me.
No,
I
I'm
feel
just
like
saying
that.
that this happened. I've been getting a lot of messages. I've been getting a lot of posts. So I'm just talking here. Anybody who thinks he's better than me, anybody. It could be you. It could be A guy, B, whatever that guy is. Why don't you just come and compete, not just against me, but also at the pro show? I'm not gonna sit here and show my picture here that, hey, like I'll do a comparison of why I'm better than the other guy. Maybe you are better than me. Maybe you are. You know what? Maybe some other guy from India is better than me. Why don't you just compete against me, or not even against me, just some other Olympian? Compete against an Olympian, win a pro show, get on that stage, and then we'll find out. I'm all about sportsmanship. I want more guys to come
hey,
from
with that
India.
being said, right now, a question that I asked them,
How many guys from Brazil are in Olympia this year? Four or three?
Diago,
Taiki and
Carlos,
guy, right? Three.
and then you have the one that just won the Brazil Pro, so three.
There's three or four, right? Three. I think three
Three.
so far.
Three. It's
Yeah.
three
So
now.
see, if Brazil
Yeah.
can have three guys up there, we have 10 times their population. We have 10 times the talent. So why can't we have 4 or 5 guys at the Olympia level? I'm all about
Hey, be fair, Buwan. There's a shit ton of shows in around Brazil and in the surrounding areas. Be fair for a
it's
second.
got to start somewhere, right? But Ben,
Yeah,
like
but
you remember how 3 years ago Brazil only had one pro show and the guys were competing at muscle contests. Carlos de Oliveira used to compete at US muscle contest shows, and Diogo used to come and compete in US shows too. So
yeah.
Brazil is closer to US, so it makes more sense. Like right now, I'm going to talk. Hopefully, all these other guys are watching. They can see this, that the Brazil goes to US because it's closer to them. But we from India should be going to Asia, to Middle East, even Europe, even UK, all these other countries, because it's closer to us. It's cheaper. It's 6-hour flight, 5-hour flight, no time zone difference. Why are we not smart enough? If I was in India, I'm telling you right now, if I was competing in India, I would not even focus at US shows. I wouldn't even bother. Because why would I want to focus on paying $2,000 plus more to stay and go with the time zone difference when I can just take a 4-hour flight to anywhere in Asia or Europe? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to tell. Like, it's not that we don't have the shows. I just feel like Ryan said it very clearly last time, that it's cost strategizing. And that's what they lack. Maybe if they listen to their coaches, maybe if they actually start planning better, they can all get there. It's just strategizing.
Hey, Buwan. So a question that I had asked these guys, right? You
I
had
was targeting US show just because of Freddy told me कि you have to compete in New York Pro or any big show. So you will compete here, so you will come to know कि अगर इसमें like if you get a place in this, so Olympia में top 10 you will come, you know. So that's the reason I'm Freddy sir said कि you choose higher show like US वाला show like New
he's
York
saying
Pro
Freddie
or
told him to choose one of the higher shows, one of the bigger shows over in the US.
I'll let Ryan speak on that topic. He knows me way more than I do.
Well, competing, getting ready for a show, I think the most important thing when you're first turn pro is not necessarily even going to those big shows. Is first of all, just putting yourself in a position where you know you can qualify, right? Because spending the money and coming out to New York Pro when you're a brand new pro is probably not the best idea, because you're going to be competing against the biggest and the best guys, right? So strategizing your season to pick a show that you know you will have a chance to qualify at, or at least the likelihood is much higher, is always the best thing, because qualifying is the first step, right? So for most of my guys that are not either previous Olympians or already qualified for the Olympia, I don't go to New York or Pittsburgh or those big shows with those guys, because you only get, especially if you're preparing to travel so far, you only get so many preps a year that you're going to be able to financially afford and your body can afford to do.
Yep.
So make sure that you're strategizing and picking the right shows where you have the best chances to qualify, right? And then after that point, once you got your qualification, if you feel like you want to step up against those guys and see how you compare, then strategically that's a better decision than wasting maybe your one and only prep on a show that you have a 1 out of 10 chance to place.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
never, I never compete with like I never compare myself with anybody, because everybody has a different physique, different plus point, different minus point. So I never compare myself to like any Olympian or any pro athlete or champion. I work on myself. I know my strongest things. I know my weaknesses. So I try to do best whatever I learn from you guys. I learn from people of India, like any athletes. So whatever, whenever I learn, like when Jeremy Bundia come in India in my Sheru Classic, so he told me ki forefinger, put it a forefinger on your vest, it look good. I used to keep myself like this. So he said, keep like this, you look good. So we're learning, and we don't have
Manoj,
a
it's about choosing the right shows. I even told you myself, like, how to choose the right shows. So what Ryan's saying here is something that I agree with, and I've always done it with him, strategizing about my shows. When we do shows, we don't like Ben does the same thing too. Like Ben is right here, he does the same thing. He's smart about his shows. He doesn't just goes and just does a random show. He does the East Coast show, then he does the West Coast show. He's trying to like put his career. The way it works as a pro is a lot different than it works as an amateur. You have to strategize. You have to pick the right. You always want to pick a show that you have the best chance of winning, not just placing top 5. So
Absolutely.
New York, like me, I haven't done a show like New York so far. Ben has like that. Like, we got better shows to do. We have a name to build right now. Why am I gonna waste prep? Like I did one show this year, like 2 shows this year, but I strategized it in December last year after Olympia. So I picked a show in December to already know which show I'm gonna do, and I talked to Ryan about it. I discussed with it, and we were cool. And that's exactly what we went in there and we won. And this has been a case for the last 3 years that I've been with Ryan. We always pick shows based on what's good for me, what I can win, not what like, oh, what's the biggest show that I can gain exposure from. I think the mentality in India is like you're so focused on getting exposure that you forget that the basic is to win a pro show. And that could be as easy as like a show in Asia or a show in UK or a show in America. It doesn't matter. As long as you get the qualification, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
exactly.
Hey,
Actually,
Bua. Hey,
where
hold on,
Indian
Manoj.
athletes
Wait,
don't know
Manoj, hang
about
on. I
any
want to ask.
show like
Let me ask Buwan a question.
Yeah.
Buwan. Speaking real quick about some of the athletes coming out of India, right?
Yeah.
Because you've seen the guys, who's been winning, and the
Yeah.
amateurs that have turned pro. A lot of them haven't had a chance to compete yet, of course. But aside from yourself, who do you think are like top 5 guys right now that are gonna, hey, guys to watch, or guys that are gonna be doing things in men's physique out of India? Who you say top 5 are
I think the ones
aside from yourself?
in terms of size, I mean, Manoj is already up in terms of size.
Well,
But
not size, but just like as far as like, okay, this guy's good. This guy, who's the top 5 men's physique guys that you would say in India right now?
I've always taken side with some of the guys. Like there is like guy that I know, Bharat Raj, he turned pro like 3-4 years ago. I know he has structure to get up there, but he's never competed at the pro level. I don't think he wants to. I don't know, but he has been off the grid. There was another guy called Jatain. He's been off the grid. He had the potential, but they never, once they got the pro card, they just quit. The guy that is right now is causing a lot of stir. Guy who won the overall. I was there at the show. I was watching it. Like
Raja.
yeah, I was watching it right from the top. I think the other guy, Pankaj Gajwani, that didn't win the overall. I think he has an amazing structure. He just needs more size, a lot more size. But he has a good conditioning. A lot of these guys have great conditioning, but they don't have those proportions. So in order to build proportions, they got to like build on certain aspects of physique that can take a year or two. But these are the guys I'm like, even Raja, like he has a great physique, but he's very small. I saw him on stage
Very small.
and he's small. He needs like at least 2 years of off season to try to get on a stage as a pro. And I know this because I'm competing it, and I had to build that size up to get confident that I can hang out with the big guy. That Raja guy is too small. When you see him in person, when you see him in how short he is, how he has great structure, great muscle bellies, great everything, but he needs at least
conditioning top notch
to get on Manoj's density, to get on his size level. That's what he. Of all the guys that I think the only person who has the size to at least compete at the pro level is obviously Manoj. Because Ben, you know, we now not the same look 3 years ago. Like this is not men's physique. The men's density and size.
Yep. So right now, in your opinion, Manoj is the top. But aside from yourself, Manoj is the top guy right now coming out of India.
Bharat, Manoj are the guys who have the size, the density to compete at the pro level. All the others, Raja, Jitain, there's Pankaj, as just mentioned, and the other guy who won pro show.
Well, shit, Ryan. I'm excited to see the Toronto Pro now.
Yeah,
so we'll say we'll bill it as India's top 2 men's physique square off.
You know, funny thing is, when me and Ryan decided on the show to do this year, I was like, oh, it's going to be an easy show to just walk in and do it. He didn't know anybody else competing. When Ryan told me that Joe was going to be up there and I saw there, the motivation that I had, like the way I started training, the way I started focusing on, just took me to like, I was here and it just went here. You know that feel, right? Okay, there's another like top guy competing. To me now, I'm like, okay, I have something to prove. Until now, I was like, okay, Toronto Pro is not it's an easy show for me. That's how I take it. I haven't done a Toronto Pro show, but I've done Vancouver. I've won, right? So I'm like, okay, I want this now, and come. Like I just want more guys to come. Like Manoj just said, yes, I want other. Like when you talk to Raja, this video, I want you to come. I want every person from India to come and compete. Let's make it a show to remember. I have started my prep. Just so you guys know. You guys know I haven't been off prep. I may be off gear. I may be off everything, but I haven't been off prep. And you can see how I look. I just did guest posing in India without even being prepared. So I'm not afraid. I know what I've been working on for. I know how Ryan and I work. I know what our strategy is. I'm ready for this show, right? The last show. So I've been preparing for it. So hopefully you guys can jump on it too.
There it is.
100%. I'm coming for sure. And one thing I want to say, in India, we don't have any pro show. So we'll learn from Bhuwan, we'll learn from Freddy sir, we'll learn from Jeremy sir, we'll learn from everybody. Like, you know.
The thing, there's going to be an India Pro Show happening next year. I know this. I'm telling you this right now.
Say that again. Wait, say that again.
There's going to be an India Pro Show happening next year in November.
In 2022.
In July.
Just so you guys know, I'm doing the Olympia. I don't know who else is going to the Olympia from India. I'm going to the Olympia. And I don't care how far away it's going to be from the Olympia. Ryan and I are going to be at that India Pro Show next year. Hey. So every Indian pro, 15 or 18, I think there's like 15 pros from India right now. Be ready. We're going to be all on one stage right before the Olympia. I have a bigger show to focus on. You guys don't have that show to focus on. I'll be the one and I'm still be there. And Ben can come and chime in and he can be the commentator. So
I'll be there too, damn it. Hey, listen, I'm fucking there. Ryan, let's get our tickets ready. We're going to India.
I've been planning.
So I just want to talk about why I'm choosing the bigger show like a New York Pro or Texas Pro. Just because of Freddy sir, he's saying go with the higher show. Where I don't have any knowledge about any pro show because I never went to see or never went to compete. You know, so I learned from Bhuwan, I learned from Freddy sir. So Freddy sir knows everything about the pro show. He's a judge as well. He's a pro athlete as well. He's an Olympian. So I learned from him. I asked him what to do, what to not to do.
New York Pro Show is 4 weeks before Toronto Pro Show. Why don't you go do both?
No. I'm talking about 2020.
Even next year, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you a show date. New York Pro Show is actually no, it's 2 weeks before. New York Pro Show is either
it's May 21st. New York Pro is May 21st, so that'll be 2 weeks before Toronto.
Before Toronto Pro.
Oh, you could come to the US.
Yeah.
You could come out to Zero Gravity Gym, train with Ryan right there. Go do
What
New York, then go to Toronto.
The
Freddy's
good
in
part
Texas.
about this sport is too, there's always rivalry, even amongst teams and coaches, right? Like
Yeah.
Omar Ventura, right? Team Ventura versus Zero Gravity versus Cuts versus. But at the end of the day, we all come on here. We're all friends. We all talk, right? And so I'm even extending that. If you want to come out here, I know you're new. You're trying to figure things out. You always got an extended family out here in the United States. We'll all help guide you and help you, do what you need to do while
Always.
you're here. And that's
Always.
being sincere.
Another thing I have mentioned it earlier, sportsmanship is another thing we have to like show people. I'm all about that. I like just how Ryan said, I know what he said he's actually going to even do it. I just know it. Like he's always open to having guys over at his gym and helping them, even if they're not getting coached by him. And I believe the same thing. Like I don't think of it as something that, hey, like somebody said something, talk shit, I'm not going to go out there and help. You just have to ask. You just have to like see, like I try to help you. I'll try to help any other. Ryan's here. Ben, I mean, Ben has been doing these coaches corner for you guys. Like I know I haven't been involved in it as much, but I see it all the time that he helps you guys pose with Omar. Like these two guys, like Omar and Ben, helping you guys pose better. They don't have to do that. You're
Yeah,
not.
so like when people pose with Ben and Omar and then they get off, I hit them up and then I fix it. It's like, it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. You know what, Ryan? Ryan is
That's a
like,
good one.
it's just we work together.
Uh-huh.
But speaking to working together, so like even this, if you saw it posted today, BHUWAN posted up and he tagged me today along with Dorian Hamilton, right?
Speak on it.
Because he lives in Canada, right? He lives in Canada. Dorian's in Canada. He has a close eye on him. We get on the phone together, all three of us, because we want to put together the perfect game plan to make sure that BHUWAN has the best amount of success. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the success of your athlete. And sometimes there's too many egos in this industry, right? People say, oh, well, I want to do it all. I do it all the best. Look, Dorian has close eyes on him throughout his off season when he's there. He checks in with him. He sends the check-ins that the things that are going on between him and Dorian, I see those check-ins. When it comes time to him starting to prep for the show, Dorian kind of takes the back seat, passes it off to me, right? And so
a two-coach system.
And no egos are involved, right? And me and Dorian have talked many times about strategizing, and I'm sure that it's at the end of the day, it's going to make both me and Dorian also better coaches because I've picked his brain and saw some of the stuff that he's done. It's given me a new perspective on some of the ways that he's done things, and Dorian has zero ego. He's like, man, you're the master of getting the conditioning. I'm going to let you do what you do, right? And so it's, I think there needs to be more of that. I got hit up today by an athlete who's not on my team, but lives close to the gym and said, hey, man, I don't know if you got a problem with it. I'm on this team, but can I come train with your guys? Because the intensity of zero gravity gyms, I can't find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, as long as your coach is cool with it, come on.
It's called thinking outside the box. The thing so stuck in a box. For me, I'm trying to strategize, and with Ryan, like the way we work, right? He wants my success the most, and I trust him with that. But at the same time, we know what is best without putting egos in place, which is why I like to work with him. You just said it right now, Ben. It's two-coach system. I don't think it's been done before. I don't think this is something that's very common. But you know what? Like I like it. I like it.
Keon was actually doing a two-coach system with John Meadows before he passed away. So he had John basically doing all of his training and diet and stuff, and then he had another person doing I guess his protocol and his gut health and things like that. So he had two coaches as well working with him.
So yeah, it has happened in few cases, not very common. I thought that this is the best way to put me in a position that I need to succeed as an athlete and make those improvements. I think I had the best improvement season last year and I had the best prep this year, both. And I had worked with both. So you know what? Ryan and Dorian sat together and we are like, you know what? It worked perfectly. We're going to try to replicate it again. because I made the most improvements. I said I put on 10 pounds of solid size and I got conditioned for one show. And now I know that this works. It actually works
Yeah.
really good. Like 2 coaches and me just, you know, switching between off season and prep. And I'm going to do this again next year. And we have more shows next year. So we get to play around more. We do some shows in summer, then we do a show in Olympia. Then if the India Pro Show happens, then there's a show in November.
Hey, Bhuwan, what do you think about the case that happened, the situation that happened with Arvin Spartacus?
So you would be surprised how many times I've been asked this, Ryan. I don't know, you know, if you know this guy. Like a lot of controversy. It's just insane. My DMs get flooded on this topic. My YouTube comments get flooded. So I'm gonna.
Right, it went viral. A video went viral a little bit ago. I think it happened around April or May. He got kicked off the stage of a competition. The judge said he was too big, and so it went viral.
And I agree. I might get a lot of hate for that from India, but you know what? I agree. He's far too big in men's physique. Now, let me give you a little background. He was an open bodybuilder until 2 years ago, competing in IBF organization. Let that sink in. He was an open body competing in IBBF, which is like the organization that gives Mr. Universe and Mr. World titles.
Mr. India, Mr. India.
Yes. So 2 years ago, he was competing in Mr. like all this. Since then, he got even bigger. If you see the pictures, he's gotten bigger in 2 years. And now he put on both shorts and he's doing men's physique. Now, you'll just tell me, how do you let an open bodybuilder compete against men's physique guys like Raja, like Manoj, like Bharat, or even myself?
Well, you said this though. You said that a lot of the guys in India lack the size.
Yeah, but the thing is,
do you not think that Spartacus has pro men's physique size? When you talk about size, he looks like a Fernando Chala. So are we really going to say he's too big?
No, but did they?
What?
So they
that's
literally.
a lot of muscle. He's short, and that's a lot of muscle. So here's how I look at it: is like, what if you put Clarida and give him a men's physique pose and ask him to do a men's physique pose with the boat shots? How do you think he's going to look?
Who? Say that again.
Sean Clarida.
Sean Clarida?
Yeah.
Sean Clarita's like 5'2", and come on, that's not a good comparison.
So, what is Arvin's height and what is Arvin's weight?
I believe he's what, 5'7", 5'8"?
He's around 5'6", 5'7", and he's huge. His arms are far too big to even like. I think his arms are bigger than any men's physique athlete in the entire world.
I saw the pictures of him on stage when he was in competition shape, and the first thing I said was he looks like a pro.
Well,
now on the stage, on the stage next to the Indian athletes, a lot of those guys are undersized and don't have the size and density, which is what you already mentioned. I agree with you on that, right?
Tell me the
With that being said, he stood out on this stage because he was far bigger than all of these guys. They're all undersized though. So can you not?
But they removed him from stage?
The judge literally said, "Hey, what's your name?" Said, "I think you're in the wrong division and you're disqualified."
See, disqualification is too extreme, I agree. But at the same time, I do believe that if he went to anywhere in the world, he will not win a show to become a pro.
If he competed in the U.S., he would have a shot. He's doing the. Hey, listen, we'll see in March. He's doing Arnold.
The guys who turn pro, yes, I know the guys who turn pro and
He's doing the Arnold in March, Bhuwan. So we'll see.
That's perfect. You know what? It's perfect. Doing the show in Arnold, when he stands next to the guys who have like the same kind of structure for men's physique, you'll see he stands out because he's too big. And you know what? Maybe he can downsize it. Maybe he won't train as much. Sure, he can. I'm not saying that it's not possible for him to turn pro. I just think with the size that he has right now, from what he had 2 years ago, it's actually more, and he is far too big to be in men's physique, even as an Olympian. Because even Brandon would look smaller compared to him. He's almost the same, but he would look smaller.
Ryan, have you seen the guy?
I don't think I've seen him. No.
Manoj. One second, Manoj.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this guy. I don't know if they should pull anybody off stage. I mean, they should penalize him in the judging if he's too big.
He is. That's why judges are penalized. So I've seen him in great shape, great structure, but that kind of conditioning that he has is classic bodybuilding conditioning. It's just, it pops out. And if you see his profile, Ben, you know what? I wanted to scroll down his profile later on. See his poses from 2 years ago when he was an open bodybuilder, and you will see the size difference from then.
Well, he said he had a leg injury, and so he couldn't train his legs. So
he will have to downsize. That's what I think.
Bruno Mars,
Hi, bro.
Arvin
Hi,
Spartacus. What's up, man?
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good.
Hey, that's Ryan Benson. You already know BHUWAN, of course.
Sir,
Yeah.
Hey, does he look like Bruno Mars? Let's just ask that question first.
pretty close. So this is the man who got kicked off for being too big.
Yes.
Let me see your stage picture. You got a stage picture?
Yeah, I have, but I don't know how can I show you. One second.
You can't show while you're on the phone. Arvin, just show him what you look like.
Let's see what you look like.
Oh, now I'm bloated fully.
Damn, dude, you just come from the gym? Hey, just show him
No,
what you look like, Arvin. Hit your men's physique pose.
Now?
Yeah, right now. Do your men's physique pose. You have a lot of people from the U.S. right now watching, and let them introduce yourself to them. Let me turn the comments off.
Oh, 1 second.
He's big, Ryan, but when you look at him, I think he has pro size. Is he borderline? He's borderline. But there's a lot of guys borderline who still do well.
Let's see it. Let's see the poses.
Men's physique pose, front and back pose.
Let's see your front pose.
Okay.
Hey, he's the unit.
He's a left right now. The door is open. He's out. Come on, Ben. Get the fuck out of here. Bro. It's fucking huge.
He's in the off season.
Ben, you.
I don't give a
I'm
fuck what
off
you
season.
do.
I think
Do your back pose. Do your back pose. He's in the off
Come
season, Ryan.
on.
I told you.
Come on. Get the
Dude,
fuck
that's
out of
men's
here, bro.
physique. Come on.
That is not men's
And
physique.
literally, I feel like you need to get back on stage. You've been off stage for a while.
Bro,
He's in the off season.
which means he's not taking training shit right now. If he was on all his gear, he'd be even fucking bigger. And he's going to look
Dude.
bigger if he's leaner.
No, when he's leaner, dude, he's not. He's gonna listen. He's full. He's been eating good.
The
Actually,
leaner
this
he
is
gets, the bigger
me.
he's going to look.
Look, that's him right
before
there.
the competition.
Arvin, show him. Bro, when he's dialed in, Ryan, he actually has a fucking pro men's physique look. Don't tell me that looks like a bodybuilder. No.
I'm not going to dock his physique. He's got a great physique. Like that.
But when you actually see him dialed in like that, he does have a men's physique look, but it looks like a pro. He doesn't look like
a men's physique, bro. He looks like he ate a men's physique,
Dude,
bro.
Ryan.
Like, come on, that's big. And
BHUWAN. He just doesn't look like an amateur Indian physique guy. That's why.
You don't look like an amateur anything.
Arvin, okay, Arvin, that picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pump up, did you carb up, or is it just straight up, just flat, and you just went and took that picture?
No, it's carb loading. I think 1 week before competition
Come on, man.
of that NPC.
Look.
Or he's not carb up properly. You take a picture of his from like, do you have a picture that you were on stage? Show Ryan and everybody
Yeah.
here.
Spartacus, right? That's the name?
Yeah,
Spartacus.
Spartacus, you have a great
Arvin
physique.
Spartacus.
Good work. You look awesome.
When he's in shape, Ryan, that man looks like a pro men's physique competitor.
How's your legs? You have good legs?
2 years I didn't train my legs.
2 years he didn't train him. Leg injuries.
Well, there's the wheelchair Olympia. Do that shit. Because
Man, stop it, dude. Don't
This
insult.
this motherfucker's big, bro.
Look, Ryan. That's a pro men's physique right there. Don't say it's not. That's pro men's physique right there. IFBB pro men's physique caliber.
It's on the border. He's on the border.
Like I said, dude, when he's dialed in, it doesn't look like an amateur physique. That's why, because when you put this guy next to these amateurs who are all undersized, yeah, he stands out.
No, as I said before, if he's downsized, he can definitely be a pro because he has that small waist look, which is what you need for men's physique. But the muscle are just so full, just so dense. And honestly, he is big. But if you stop training, if you like actually go on stage for a week of not training and you're just shredded and dry, of course you can be a pro. But
I mean, he's got a pro physique. Whatever category it is, he's got a dope physique. That's a
100,
good.
Thank you.
that's a lot of good density, size, like with
That's a
muscle
lot of fucking muscle.
shredded. Like, it does get super shredded. There's no doubt about that. You're coming from an open bodybuilding. That's expected from you, Arvind. When you compete at the bodybuilder, that's expected from you that you come super conditioned and dry, especially from that organization, putting that goal tan up. But you have to downsize if you want to play. Whether you're going to do it in India or you're going to compete in US, you have to get on a plan. You want to get on a plan to like literally be flat, be super duper like muscle bellies are not as flat, but you're so shredded, and you can get on stage and you can turn pro. And afterwards, if you want to get on like a huge, like get on a pump at a Olympic, like at a pro show, or go ahead and show them how big you are at that level.
What's your weight?
On pro, you need to downsize a lot.
What's your weight right now, Arvin? And what's your stage weight?
Stage weight is like 89.5, 89.
So like 180? It's like 180?
Wait,
180, like so 180 pounds.
Yeah.
Stage weight, he said, is 180, and he's 5'7".
180.
5'7".
Yeah.
Almost 5'8" border.
Oh, he's almost 5'8". He said he's almost 5'8", and he's 89 kilograms. So multiply that by 2.2.
That's 198.
Yeah, almost 200 pounds.
Oh, at 5'8" though. That's how much Brandon weighs. Brandon's 198 at the Olympia, 200 pounds at the Olympia.
Yeah.
So we can't say he's too big, bro, when Brandon is literally the same exact size.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, he looked great, man. He looks great. I'm not gonna knock him. He's fucking huge right now. He's big as shit.
Brandon Hendrickson's on stage at Olympia at 198 to 200, right there in that range at 5'8".
Yeah, and this guy's got 2 pounds more hair than Brandon. So,
Hey man, Arvin, how much are you weight right now? How much do you weigh right now?
Now
230.
full carb up, like 100 kg.
That's 220.
How much?
220.
Damn.
No.
You 220 right now?
Yeah. I didn't train almost after amateur Olympia. I didn't train for 7 to 8 days, full of carb loading, having 7 days of cheating.
Oh, so you didn't train for 7 days and just
7
ate food?
days. Yeah. For 7 days. Today I have started today.
So are you starting prep for Arnold right now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good from today.
Hey, I look forward to seeing you on stage in Columbus, Ohio at the Arnold Amateur.
Yeah. Sure.
Hell yeah. I want to.
Everybody in the world is gonna see you, man. They're gonna be wowed by your physique.
Yeah. Just don't show up far right now.
Sorry.
What part of India are you from?
I'm from Tamil Nadu. South.
I told you, you know what? Like I want to say something. There's a lot of talent in South India. And I keep taking the name of Bharat Raj because he's from South India as well. And
South India. He's same place.
In India, a lot of South Indians get ignored because they don't go to North India to compete at the level. But I do certainly believe that structure that you want for men's physique is actually, there's a lot of guys in South that have it, and it's so big in South. Bodybuilding is huge. So Arvind, I know you know it better, like how things are in Tamil Nadu and stuff. But
yeah.
Like bodybuilding shows and everything in South India, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I've noticed, and I want more of these guys from South India to actually come up. And I'm glad that he's making a name for himself. I'm glad Bharat made a name for himself. I want more of these guys from South India, not just North India, all over India.
Hey Ryan, if you didn't know, on our last live session, right? Arvin was we had him do a pose down competition, most muscular against other guys. He went undefeated.
Undefeated?
You think you could take him in the most muscular pose?
Right now?
Yeah.
Hell no.
BHUWAN, are you up for the challenge right now? You're in off season.
Dude, I'm 228 6 foot. Come on, I'm not even close to that size. But if you want to compare weight, if you you want to measure the waist, my waist is still 29 inches right now. So, you want to do waist size comparison? I'll do it.
Oh man.
Your waist is 26, right? 26 or 27?
On stage, it gets 27 and a half. Right now, it's 29. I'm actually pretty lean for my off season with something different for me this time around. Like, I have not put that 10 weeks post show.
Okay.
And again, like this is for one of the first times I'm like not on anything, and I look better than if I were to do an off season.
Hey, it's all about that diet, man. Hey, Spartacus, what do you eat on a daily? Can you tell people about like what you eat? How much you eat?
Daily? No, you're asking about a cheat meal or
Wait,
All
let
of it.
me
All of
ask
it.
you a question.
What do you eat?
Is Spartacus your real name, or is that like your competition name?
it's not my real name. It's some nickname.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's not your real name? Damn it.
I think because
Yes.
your parents knew you were going to be buff as fuck then when you were before.
No, dude, don't ever tell nobody that again. Make sure your name from now on is Spartacus. There's nothing else.
Okay.
So what'd you eat
Tell
today?
people, what do you eat, man?
From today, I'm having like 600 grams of rice per day with and 400 grams sweet potatoes.
600 grams of rice per meal?
Yeah, white rice. Yeah.
With
No,
each
no.
meal?
Total.
Oh,
Total
total.
per day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 400
600
grams of
grams and
potatoes?
400 grams of potatoes and almost like 500 grams of chicken, 150 grams of beef, and 200 grams of fish, and 6 eggs.
Man, you know a lot.
A lot of food.
How many pizzas did you eat? How many burgers?
No, from today, no. Yesterday, I think 2 burgers and I think 2 kg of white rice.
What's your favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal is biryani and fish rice.
What's that, fish rice?
Yeah, fish gravy.
What's that? What is that, Bhuwan?
Just like fish curry. Saying fish curry with rice.
Yeah, fish curry. Yeah.
Okay. What is that first one you said? Badiani? What is it?
Biryani. Chicken
What is that?
biryani.
Don't worry, I'll take you out next time. Man. Go train at Ryan's gym. Or guys,
Yeah.
Y'all need a
Absolutely.
KFC. Y'all need a KFC in India, bro. What the fuck?
together.
Do you guys eat fried chicken?
We don't like that much fried chicken. If you eat like a biryani or some chicken tikka, and if you eat what is it, grilled chicken, you won't like KFC fried chicken at all.
You don't like fried chicken at all?
Yeah, if you taste that grilled chicken and everything, you won't.
There's more to life than fried chicken. Just wait till I take you to an Indian food place.
What about
This dude said they don't like
no Pizza Hut, no McDonald's?
You guys did McDonald's, right? Y'all do McDonald's?
Yeah, we got, yeah.
Do you eat McDonald's?
Yeah, I like McDonald's.
Big Mac, that's his new name.
Well, in India, we don't get beef burgers. We don't get Big Macs, so we only get chicken burgers and fish burgers.
What's your favorite meal at McDonald's?
Make spicy and make chicken.
Make Spicy, that's his new name, bro.
What's a McSpicy?
Make
What is
spicy
a
chicken burger.
Oh, okay.
Make spicy chicken burger.
It's a chicken burger with like a little bit of a spice in there. There's no beef burgers in India.
Yeah.
There's no beef burgers at all?
No beef burger.
Wow.
No
That's
beef.
crazy. Why not?
Because beef is not an Indian food to eat. It's
Cows are secret.
holy. In North India, it's considered holy. It's like different own ways. Like so in Hinduism, it's not considered to be something that you should eat. So in India, you won't find it readily available.
Yeah.
India's getting a lot more progressive though now with supplements and stuff, because going back a couple of years ago, I would coach guys from India and I would tell them to take like BCAAs and they'd be like, oh, I can't take steroids. And I'm like, no, they're amino acids, right? They're like,
Well,
no.
There's far more awareness now because a lot of Indian companies opening up. There's a lot of local also they spread that awareness. So it's much better.
But Ben, me and you, for sure, when we go to India, we're going to get sick.
100%.
Damn.
India, I don't know what, I'm actually from India, but somehow I don't know what happens. Every time I go to India, I get sick. Last time I went there was in October, and I got like a little bit of stomach upset. 2019, I
It's
got the
happening,
stomach
bro.
upset. This time I got
It's
in
like
October.
every time we go to Orlando.
Bro, I got
It builds up, but once you like leave and then you try to come back, even for me, like it does, immunity is not strong as it used to be.
people have
Yeah.
different bacterias that they're used to in
Exactly.
different
Yeah.
countries. So
We're not
when we
living there,
travel there,
don't get used to that.
we're not used to it. We're going to get sick.
Hey,
But
Omar,
it's okay.
I know you're in here watching, Omar. BHUWAN informed us that there's actually a pro show happening in India in 2022 in November.
Yeah, I saw. He said.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And I'm going to be
Yeah.
there. Sick as fuck, but we'll be there.
Yeah. It's been a way
Yeah, it's like,
to do this. I'm giving you this information because I want every Indian pro to look at this ready, that you have a date now. You have November 2020. Get your pro cards ready, get your physiques ready, and that's your show. Come on, and no excuses.
Arvin, are you
Exactly.
looking? Would you like to compete against BHUWAN?
My target is compete against the current champion.
For that, you'll have to go against me, Arvind.
Damn, so you ain't even worried about
For
BHUWAN.
that, you'll have to do a pro show. You need to
Once I
qualify
get a
for.
pro card, I want to improve my physique to beat Brandon.
Damn, he
Or
said he said
if
when
I
he get
get
his pro card, he want to go straight to Brandon.
He doesn't want to compete at the pro show. He wants to go straight to Olympia after winning his pro card.
Hey, he want to compete straight against Brandon. That's it.
no, I didn't say
I
that.
know.
Once I get a pro card, I want to improve my physique to beat Brandon.
Okay, I got
I
you.
don't want to compete in pro show.
I get it.
he doesn't want to
Well,
compete until he's ready.
That's my target, actually.
So if you do get your pro card in March, you wouldn't want to compete in November at the pro show in India?
Actually, I'm planning to compete Olympia to get a qualification in Olympia 2022. So I think before November, I won't compete any other pro shows.
He's
I'm
right
planning
because
for.
that
Once
show.
I get a pro card, before that, I'm
Right.
competing.
Because the show in India in November is not going to qualify for 22. That's going to qualify you
23, yeah.
November 20th is the cutoff, though.
Yeah, so that November 20th is the cutoff.
Yeah, November 20th is the cutoff for the 2022 Olympia.
So that so that show is probably going to be in second week of November or third week of November. Now that depends.
So it will be a qualification.
They don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm
that is
going to be the second or third week of November.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
I think regardless of that, like I think that's a great plan that he has. That if he wants wins his pro card at the Arnold, he does a few shows and then qualifies for 20 Olympia, and then he can do whichever show he wants.
yeah. Exactly.
Spartacus, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30.
30.
Yeah, 30.
You got a big ass neck. Do you have sleep apnea?
What the fuck?
Look at his neck, bro.
You say you got a big ass neck. You got sleep apnea.
I got sleep apnea. He needs sleep
That's
apnea.
all Ryan can think about. Damn, this guy's neck is big. Hey, that's crazy. Though. He's only 30 years old, man. Fucking crazy physique. That kind of fucking muscular development at the age of 30 is ridiculous.
That's true. No, that's a great physique, man. I'm excited to see him at the Arnold Classic. I just hope that it's the right amount of size you bring in and you are able to get that pro card, especially at the Arnold Classic. That's going to be not just for you, but pretty much everybody in India too, because now everybody will feel that they can do the big ball, right? Like what you're doing is something that nobody's ever done before. That
Yeah.
going to do a big show from India to get their pro card. Everybody's so busy trying to get a pro card within India that they forget that if you're not getting that appreciation within India, there is so many options. So like amateur Olympia or Arnold. I think that's a great move, and you're going to spend for others to follow.
Okay.
Yep, I agree. I agree, man. Well, Arvin, you got any questions for BHUWAN or anything?
No, I don't have any questions because he's already doing great job. You know,
Well,
he already got a qualification for 2022 Olympia.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Means?
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
No.
No.
No, I
Not
don't.
even the Brian Benson or nothing?
You want to give a shout out to all your supporters, the people that support you?
No.
No.
Not now.
No.
Once I get a pro card.
I think you know what? That's the best thing. That's the best thing I've heard from an Indian in all these years. He is saying that he's gonna be a man of few words right now, and he's gonna talk after he gets his pro card. That's how it should be done. I
Good
respect that.
job. Good job.
I
Hey,
respect that.
are you going to keep the beard on stage? Marvin,
Yeah.
are you going to keep the beard?
Yeah. Because
I think if you cut the beard off, you would look a little bit more men's physique. Bhuwan, would he look cleaner with the beard gone?
Man, you know what? The funny thing is, like, I think I disappoint every single Indian every time I go on stage with a shaved face because everybody keeps asking me to keep a beard on, and I like take it off. Everybody gets disappointed from me because it's such an Indian thing to do. So maybe if he wins his pro card at the Arnold Classic with a beard on, I will keep my beard for the next few pro shows, especially if Toronto Pro Show all the Indians are showing up. You know what? I'll be one of them.
Keep your beard on.
we are.
I mean, you already qualified for the Olympia, Bhuwan. Keep the beard.
Bro, he already has no neck. You want him to keep that beard?
He said Bhuwan has no neck?
No. Spartacus right got no neck. You could barely even see the chain sticking out from underneath here.
Yeah, Spartacus, he should trim the beard. He should trim it before he go on stage.
I think Ryan is one show next year with a beard, just for like just to keep the Indian fans happy.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do it, man. All right, well, man, if that's it, that's all. We can wrap this one up.
It's late in India too. I think everybody needs to go to sleep from India.
Yeah, it's 3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m.
Hey, we got my boy Raja in here, man. Give a shout out to Raj, overall winner at the Amateur Olympia.
That was cool, man. I saw him on the stage. That was cool. Congratulations to him.
Hey, Arvin actually said that he got Raja over you, but I ain't gonna talk. We cannot talk about that no more.
Well, that's why I said come and get some in Toronto.
Yeah,
It's different. It's different.
because we
Different.
can give suggestions. Because we can give a suggestion of who
Different
can.
when you're on the pro stage.
They were calling it, right? Toronto Pro, the Bollywood battle. Let's go.
Yeah.
They said add Raj. Hey Raj, Bhuwan made the challenge. Anybody in Toronto Pro come to Canada?
That's it. Get it.
Let's see.
Most muscular pose.
What'd you say? You got the what?
I'm reading these comments. These people are crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, they're off the chain, man. The comments are crazy.
I know.
Here's the challenger. I want the challenger to challenge me. It's a lot of talks happening around Raja versus Bhuwan, huh?
Raj, are you the king of India, Raj?
I didn't get you.
Are you the king of India?
I wouldn't say that. He's a real
Hey,
king.
are you gonna accept it? Manoj said he accepts Bhuwan's challenge. He's gonna go see him in Toronto.
Maybe if I'm ready, I'll definitely compete.
Oh, you gonna do it?
No, not this time. Not this time. I have to pass.
He's smart. He thinks from his brain.
Hey, Rod, who do you have winning that competition between Manoj and Bhuwan?
That's a tricky question. Am I included in that? If
Well,
I compete?
No,
doing the
they're gonna compete against each other at Toronto Pro, Manoj and Bhuwan.
I think Bhuwan will take him.
Okay, there it is. It's on record.
That's why it's gonna be the best battle, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to have that battle happening so that people stop talking and they start believing what is in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
Ben,
we are
let's
catching
ask
up.
this
We are
question.
catching up. We are coming.
What is it, Ryan? Ask the
So
question.
here's the question. Now with all this talent coming out of all these other countries, does the U.S., are we in trouble?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. With the likes of the kid from Egypt, Shakri, guys like BHUWAN. You got the new guy come out of Brazil. You already got Carlos and Diago. Then you got the new guy that just beat them. There's a lot of guys who are hitters who can literally jump into the Olympia and make noise. That guy that won Brazil show, the guy that won Egypt Stockley, those guys can be top 10 at the Olympia next year.
I think these guys coming out of other countries are a little more hungry than the guys here in
Dude,
the U.S. got complacent.
you see the muscle that these guys have, and then they're bringing the conditioning with it.
Yep.
I agree.
I think you're going to see a lot more of an international list of competitors at the Olympia in the next several years.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree
So
with you.
I'm reading some of these comments and increasing it. I said to Raja, I feel like size at least 15 pounds on his frame. And a lot of comments is like, once he has 15 pounds, then me and him are on the like level to compete at. But what they end up getting is that by the time he puts on 50 pounds, I'll put on 30 pounds. So I feel that it's great that he's going to be able to pick up that size in the pro stage, but just don't forget with the rate that I grow, the rate that I put on size in 10 pounds in 9 months, I've just started putting the size on. Until now, we've been trying to put size on. Brian knows it. I don't know how much you know that about Ben. I never tried to put on size until this year. So just so everybody can hear it, I'm putting size on, size 1 next year. You're going to see me summer 2022 at the stage. Now we'll be 8 pounds more.
Okay, BHUWAN, what is your current weight right now?
I'm 220. I took a week off from dieting because I was sick, but even after that, I'm 228. Not on anything. I haven't trained for a week, and yeah, I'm gonna start prep very, very soon.
And what was your stage weight for everyone?
Weight was 208 at the muscle contest.
208?
Yeah,
And that's the heaviest you've been on stage, right?
that's the heaviest I've been. Yeah, I was 190 with the Olympia.
We'll be at least 215 the next time.
Yeah, 100%. I think 250 is the exact number I'll be summer in the Toronto Pro, and by the time Olympia, my goal is 220.
220?
By the time Olympia.
We're going to do it.
Dude, the thing is, what people don't realize, and I want to say that now in front of everyone, that I never tried to put on size. I liked my look. I used to have an off season, but I used to way. Now I'm more than determined. Like I'm more determined than ever to put on that size. So everybody should be like ready to see bigger me every time they see me on stage.
Hey, well, while we got you here, listen.
Why do you think
Let
Ryan,
me just ask you.
why do you think Ryan and me and Dorian working together? Why do you think we are doing this approach? We're not playing around.
So where are you placing right now? Where you place yourself at the 2022 Olympia? Call it right now.
I'll be top 10. I say it easily. The reason that I'm saying that, I was told by Tyler to put on 10 pounds after the Olympia to be in that top 10 mix. I put on 10 pounds this year. And by the time the next year comes up, I'll be at least 20 pounds big.
Okay.
So
my man said top 10 easily. Who you bumping out?
Oh my
I
God.
don't know, man. There's going to be a lot of guys coming in and getting out. Qualify still. A lot of guys still have to qualify.
Hey, you know you got Ryan Terry returning and Jeremy Potvin returning and Jeremy Buendia returning. Are you still, even with these guys returning, are you top 10?
I am because I have a whole year to make improvements to my physique.
What do you think about the return of Jeremy Buendia?
I think it's exciting. It's going to bring up that entertainment factor back in men's physique. I think it became too boring, a little too bland. Not boring, I was a little too bland. But makes it entertaining.
Yeah, where do you think he's gonna place at the Olympia?
I think he'll be in the top 5, first call out. I think
top 5.
Yeah, in the first call out, top 6, top 5. That first call out is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's gonna be the same for Jeremy Potvin.
Jeremy Potvin back in the top 5 as well.
I feel that too because he's gonna compete with Diogo took his spot, right? Diogo took his spot last year. So it's gonna be Diogo versus him, same height, same kind of physique, same kind of like structure. So it's gonna be interesting for them compared next to each other.
How about Ryan Terry? Is he in the top 5 or top 10? What do you think?
Dude, he has the same problems that I do. It's the same problem. So I don't know. He has a whole year to make improvements. If he ends up putting on the size, he can be there. But if he doesn't put on the size, then I don't think he's $1.
You don't think he's top 10?
Depends if he puts on the size. See, with Ryan, everybody knows, right? Like, he just needs size. But he's been almost the same size the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I
Who do you think?
approach
Hey,
with the way it's going, all the shows we've observed at the Olympia, it's no more that you're an established athlete, you're guaranteed anything. You're not guaranteed.
do you think that Brandon has the men's physique division on lock right now?
I love his physique. I love that he is the ambassador, he's the front runner of men's physique, and I think he'll be there for at least a couple more years.
You said he's going to be on top for a couple more years.
I think that I feel like he is the front runner. I don't think a lot of guys giving that yet. But then we have a whole year. Then we have a whole year. Everybody has 12 months to make those improvements.
Man, interesting take there, man.
I am excited about this Olympia, man. I'm only excited because I'm telling you, 12 months. He is the champ right now, but it all depends on who makes the most improvements.
Who do you think is his closest competition to Brandon? Because you say he's going to be on top for a couple more years. Who do you think is his closest competition?
Well, we have number 2. We have number 4 at the Olympia, Tyron. We have Eric Banks. If he puts on that size, we all know he's a threat. We got Jeremy in the house right now. So I think with Brandon, he has that look that Eric Banks has a very different look. I think Chiron has a very different look. So it all comes down to what the judges really want the ambassador of the sport to look like. For now, who the champ is, I agree. Like, he definitely deserves that spot.
Yeah, I agree. And the way he's looking right now and maintaining himself in his off season,
I agree.
He looks great. He looks great.
I do think Chiron, though, could sleep everybody one day. Like, Chiron has a look, bro. When I saw him in person, when he won San Diego back-to-back shows, he looked crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He just needs to stop.
What's that?
He just needs to stop growing.
Yeah, his chest, bro, is ridiculous in person.
It is.
Do you think – never mind. Okay. It'd be fun.
I'm a big fan of where Chiron looked at that last show.
Man, guys, can we just appreciate this team bonding moment between these zero-gravity athletes? Oh, man. Welcome back, Jeremy. What's up, man?
Another day, packing up, getting ready for traveling.
Where are you headed to?
Headed to Houston. Houston for a few days, then flying to Maine, and then back to Houston. So
Maine?
That's where my family's from.
Just for the holidays? Nice.
So, yep. So, BHUWAN, are you doing New York?
Well,
ooh, he's making a challenge.
No, that wasn't a challenge. I thought I heard him say
No, I'm hoping to do shows in June and May and July. So
New York Pros in May.
Toronto and some other shows are on the radar. Toronto is for sure. That's why I made that anybody who wants to compete. And from India, it's easy to come to Canada.
Yeah.
So, those are my shows for now. What are you planning to do?
Jeremy has announced his return is going to be New York Pro, and he challenged everybody to show up.
Well, I mean, I got the same mindset as BHUWAN. You want to compete against the best. You want people to show up.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's where I stand. Like, if you're scared to compete against people at
I think people take it as ego, and I take it as confidence. It's like, why would you want to be like, oh, yeah, if somebody else shows up, I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to be losing that show. It's not about that mindset. Anybody can win at a certain day. We all know that. We've seen that happen this whole year, but that doesn't mean that you stop thinking that, hey, like, I can't lose.
Well, in my mindset, you have no business competing at the Olympia. You just don't.
Dude, somebody just said, BHUWAN, your hair is fake. Can you address that real quick?
He's got pretty ass hair. That's
I'm right here. I got some thick ass hair. I'm right here.
Well, hey, what hair products do you use, BHUWAN? Tell them what hair products you use, man.
What?
What hair products do you use?
Hair products? I got some fiber cream and some hair thickeners that I use to keep the hair up. So yeah, lots of hair dryer.
How come nobody asked me, bro?
What?
Hey, Ryan, you should do that hairstyle that BHUWAN has.
Bro, I'll do it right now.
Ryan's
Okay.
hairstyle is
Oh, there it is.
What's
trademark.
up?
You need a little bit more of that cream that he's
His
talking about.
trademark's gone.
I need a lot. I need more hair, not more cream.
You need the blow dryer and some cream and all of that stuff.
Man, I need 20 years back. That's what I need.
Oh goodness.
Oh, as soon as I hit 30, I was like, damn, this is what.
Bro, it sucks.
Yeah.
My elbows hurt. My knees hurt. Now I'm 43. Everything hurts.
Yeah. Man, BHUWAN laid out the challenge. Jeremy, I don't know if you heard it. He laid out the challenge for all the Indian pros, man, at Toronto Pro.
I heard that. That's one of the shows that I'm thinking about doing. Only a couple weeks after New York.
Oh.
Do a one and done. I want to do New York. There's Palmetto out here in South Carolina, and then Toronto. So there's like 3 shows that I do kind of want to aim for. Yeah, so we'll see. I've never really tried to run the gauntlet, or I figure why not.
Yeah. What else you gonna do, Jeremy, after Toronto?
I've always wanted to go. I mean, we never even like got on stage. At the Olympia, it was just like our names are so different that we really didn't get.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
And like me, I'm just to me, I've told BHUWAN this, and same with like E Banks, guys like BHUWAN, Stephen Cow, E Banks. I feel like they have what the men's physique look should be, and BHUWAN with that added weight is going to be fucking dangerous. So I'm excited to see that. And like I said, I'm not a super competitive person, but the competitive person in me does want to stand next to somebody at their best. So, I mean, it'd be awesome. And
BHUWAN, do the New York Pro. Carlos will be there. He'll be there. Sadiq will be there. Go do New York, BHUWAN.
Well, I'll be there. I already told you, like, I'm competing at least 4 shows in the summer. I don't have to compete at any of these shows, but I am doing them because, as Jeremy said, I'm competitive. I'm super competitive. I'm not done. Just because I did these shows to qualify early because I thought the Olympia is going to be in September. I needed that time to grow. I needed that 11 months to grow, but now I got 14 months, 14 and a half months actually, from the time I stepped off stage. So I want to be like, okay, I know that I can grow in that 9-10 months time frame to get that 10 pounds on, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be competitive. I don't want to show up more at the shows. And I've always been the kind of guy that I've always done West Coast shows. I want to hit up East Coast shows just to get that, just to get that against these guys who do East Coast shows and see where I stand. And especially with Jeremy doing them, and we all know that there's going to be top guys doing these New York Pro. Chiron, E-Banks, like these guys are going to show up at the New York and Toronto and Pittsburgh Pro. I want to go against these guys. It's not that, I feel like I can beat them. It's because I want to stand next to them and see whosoever is the best on that day wins.
Oh, I like it.
mm-hmm.
I like it. Ryan, what do you think? You're the coach, Ryan. What do you think?
We've discussed all these shows, and it was my opinion that we should branch out this year. Now the qualification's already done, and we got nothing to lose. I think everything to gain from stepping on stage next to these other guys on the bigger stages. I think what we discussed this year for me is saying now it's not about getting to the Olympia. Now it's about solidifying the fact that you're one of the best at the Olympia. And so in order to do that, I think we got to get on stage a little bit more. So we have a lot of stuff planned. And I think it's important to get on next to these guys. So
I think it's also the fact that I love competing. I don't just do it just because I have to do a prep for 12 weeks. I love the fact of going on stage, competing, being competitive, and just being in shape. It's just changed in the last couple of years, and I just want to, why not? The sport, Jeremy would agree, like from the time that he was competing, I used to look up to him and he used to be at the stage and I was like planning to compete at my first show. From that time to now, things have changed so much that if you don't show up consistently, if you don't show the improvements, there's that next guy ready to take your spot.
Well, you guys all know me. you guys know I'm the kind of coach that I want you guys to compete a lot, right? So Jeremy was never on board with that plan, but I like to put guys on stage a lot. I think, Jason did like 8 or 9 shows this last year, and like I find that competing more frequently, guys tend to improve a little bit faster. So I don't like taking too much time off. So I'm all for it, but of course, it has to come down to both people got to agree. So, and then life,
there you go.
And life has to be there too. It's funny because Jeremy back in the day, right? He's like, we got to do all these shows, got to do this and that one. Jeremy's like, nah, I'm gonna do one. Fuck it.
After I got my first Olympia qual too, I binged for like 2 weeks straight. And Ryan hits me up after those 2 weeks. He's like, hey man, you haven't been at the gym in a while. He was like, got to get ready for New York Pro. And it's like 4 weeks away. And I was like, what? Do a crash.
All the English muffins at the local grocery stores were sold out.
How's the tricep injury, Jeremy? Tricep, right?
Yeah, it's still, I can press, which is kind of weird to think about, given it's a tricep tear. But pulling, I'm scared to do any pulling movements.
Yeah. So now that you're switching back to men's physique, are you training the same to still build the legs, or are you taking a little bit less focus on that right now?
I'm not doing a permanent switch. To me, it's just, it makes sense. I don't want to stay away from the stage for so long. I feel that I can still make the progress given, how I know I can train without these nagging knee injuries or knee hits. So,
well, what your objective is to add size for classic, right? So how do you do that and compete in men's physique but not be too big for men's physique?
You got to remember, man, I'm still 153 pounds on stage.
Right. Right now, you said you're above 180 though, right?
I'm 180, like right now, 184.
I got you.
So when I cut back down, I'll probably be like, if I were to cut now, I'd probably step on stage around like 160, 157, 160. So I'd still be pretty fucking light.
I don't think Jeremy cares though, right? Like you don't really give a shit, right? You just want to go.
Yeah, like I said, I don't build my physique based off of what the judges want. I build my physique based off of what I want to create, and if that does well, then it does. If it doesn't, just
I like it.
Yeah, I just happen to have a physique that fits well into the men's physique division.
That they like, absolutely.
Yeah. Like Ryan nailed it on the head the last time we were on this, where it's just you either hate it or you love it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get so caught up or anything on opinions, really.
So you just show up at what you think is your best or how you want to look, and that's it. Got it.
Yeah. Obviously I'm still going to put an emphasis on those things that make somebody stand out, back density, with good chest. The only difference you're going to see in my physique go around is maybe a little bit more fullness and a little bit more balance. It's not going to be too different. Hopefully a little bit more back density.
I want to know how you guys think you'll match up against Ryan Terry. I mean, I think, Jeremy, you've already talked about it. BHUWAN, how do you think you match up against Ryan Terry at this point?
He brings amazing conditioning. I think he's beatable. And I definitely feel like the kind of majority that I'm bringing on now, like just turning 28, and the proportions that I have with the added size that I've added plus more by the time next year, I think I would want to go against him and see where he stands. He's 5'10", I'm 6 feet, so I feel like I can stand against guys like Raymond and Eric, and Stephen was also 5'11". Carlos, the other, he's 6 feet as well. I want to compare myself to the guys who are my height. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I look at Olympia lineup, I look at guys who are like my height, and I can see where my physique is and how I can build that size to stand next to those guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like take on these guys at have that size. But at 220, I feel I will be very, very, very competitive and somebody to look out for.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben? How do you feel you stack up next to Ryan Terry?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just chilling, man. I'm not in that conversation. I'm not in that conversation.
You like how Ben likes to stir up everything, but then he just.
Hey, listen, you guys are the champions, the Olympians. I'm not in that conversation. All right.
You're right up there, though. You're gonna get that this year.
Let me win a show, and then we can have that talk.
You're on
Hey,
your way.
is that what you used to do? I mean, I used to do it when I was as an amateur. I was looking at the top guys. I remember I was looking at Mark Anthony, Sadiq, Jason, Jeremy, and I was like, all right, you know, how do I look next to these guys? How would I look next
Yeah.
to them?
Yeah,
So,
no. Hey, man, we just working right now. We got a show in 13 weeks.
When Jeremy was first coming up, when he first came on the team, right? I think the first pro show with me was you and Joe, right?
yeah.
And Joe won that show, and Jeremy was second, right? And then a couple weeks later, what started to really create that hype, right, was like that's when Buendia was the champ. And then you had another Jeremy, similar in structure, had a similar look to the two of them. And the posts all of a sudden started where it was like, I think I made a post that compared the two. And I was like, oh, there's a new Jeremy in town. Next thing you know, the hype was like everybody wanted to see Potvin and Buendia side by side. So come the first Olympia, that first call out, that's exactly what they did, right? They put them side by side. And so
Watching that dog sport video where it kind of shows us now. Me and Jeremy at the time, we did not get along.
no,
We did not get along. So
that was that really compared.
How was that?
My dog.
Oh, wow. Like, I can hear a French.
Yep.
What is that?
Frenchie.
Frenchie, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know that sound.
I'm like,
Dude.
dude, Ben's ripping ass on live.
No, man. Like, she's loud, man.
Yeah, so sometimes I think it helps, like, right, to have somebody at the top to compare yourself next to, right? And as far as the fans go and everything else, everybody wants to see a good rivalry.
Yep.
Right? Everybody wants to see that a good story of like the Jeremy versus Jeremy story was great for publicity. It got people really involved. It got people arguing back and forth about who was better, why they were better. So I think that's important, and I think that's one of the things that's kind of been missing at the top of the sport right now is there hasn't been that, like, who's it going to be like it used to be. It was like, is it going to be Sadiq or is it going to be Buendia or is it going to be Jason Poston? Now it's been like, it's such a different eclectic group. So I think it's going to be good stories with Potvin coming back. It's going to be now who's the better. It's going to be a Potvin versus Diago, right? Like, that's going to help both of them. That's going to create some hype, right? Because people are talking about how Diago took Jeremy's spot, right? We need more of those rivalries up at top.
Yeah.
And it's good for the sport. And so I think it's good to have guys comparing to other guys.
Yep, I agree.
And Ben,
like, your Raymond versus Aaron Banks and your Brandon versus Andre, and those type of matchups like that. Yeah. Andre Dayu versus Ryan Terry or Carlos.
Except for that other stupid Instagram page I saw today. You see this post that they tried to compare Jeremy Buendia next to Chris Bumstead.
No, I didn't see it. I don't know. What?
They're both doing a side chest, and they're like, "Who's better?" I'm like, "You're fucking."
Oh my fucking goodness! The recent picture, a post that Jeremy did where he's posing. They compared that next to Chris Bumstead.
Yeah, both in a side chest. And even Jeremy, Buendia commented. He was like, "Why don't you post me next to Rami next time?"
Yeah. Freddie, what's up? Guys, got Freddie in the building.
Ready to do. What's up, brother?
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy. Do you guys think that Jeremy will be a formidable match for Arvin Spartacus?
I think that dude's too big.
See?
Well, no. I'm thinking like that because I'm glad he thinks that too.
Like, he's got a solid structure to him, but
So you don't think that he has a pro men's physique look, Jeremy?
No, I think he's about 10 pounds too big.
Yeah, he's huge, man. What are you talking about?
He said he was 198 on stage.
Yeah, I get what you were saying because I heard when you were comparing him to Brandon.
At 5'8", come on, man. That's not too big.
But weight doesn't mean shit. It's how you carry.
Look at Jeremy, his weight, but he looks amazing from his physique. Nobody can even think that Jeremy can, at that weight, look as good as he does. weight doesn't mean anything. If your muscle density and muscle maturity are so superior, especially for an open bodybuilder, like he won't.
I know, but guys, be fair. He was competing against a bunch of guys in India who are undersized. So if you inserted him into the New York Pro lineup, you mean to tell me he will be too big for men's physique? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think it's like me stepping on stage at 170 as a men's physique guy. I think if I stepped on stage at 170 as a men's physique guy, people would be like, nah, fuck that. Like they're already saying,
if Chawla's not too big for men's physique, you can't say that he is.
Chawla doesn't look the same though. He doesn't have
the so I went against him. You saw he was 6 or something. You saw how he looked. Chawla isn't the same anymore. But if you see Chiron, if Chiron puts on another 2 or 3 pounds, he's big.
Yeah, Chiron's borderline. Chiron's right there, borderline.
How do you say that? Now you see that borderline. Arvind is no different though.
I said Arvind is borderline, but I don't think he's too big.
Look, I recently talked to Apton, the guy that's classic pro. Just got him on Dark Sport, right? Apton.
Yeah.
He was like, he sent me some pictures. Said, "Hey man, you think I could do men's physique?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro! You look crazy. You try to hit a men's physique pose. Oh man, it's dumb. Like, no, it's way too big."
Like if I was that guy, if I was Arvind, I would honestly go on a slight caloric deficit right now. Or if he's getting ready for Arnold, what is that, 3 months?
Yeah.
12 weeks, 3 months.
I mean, I would fucking cut hard.
That's it.
I would try to shoot for 10 pounds lighter than what he was on
stage.
The
funny thing is, he's actually having an off-season right, trying to put size on.
Yes, yeah.
Contradiction.
No. He's not trying to put size on. He said he's starting right now. He said he's starting right now.
And he looks like that.
He said he was bench eating for 7 days straight.
I agree with what Jeremy is saying. You need to be on a deficit for way longer to cut that size.
He loses a little bit of muscle because look at it this way too. Not only is he already going to the Arnold, there's going to be the judges are going to pay attention to what's been said already. They're already going to have the idea that he's probably too big, so they're looking out for that. And if he does stand out just a little bit from that, they could just be like, yeah, maybe he is too big. Because like I said, it's
why show a borderline? Why show a borderline size? Why not, as he said, like show up 10 pounds smaller? There's no.
He could just come in flat. If he just did that, came in flat with no pump and no carb up, I think he'll be good like that.
Look, but here's the side effect though of going big and coming down. Okay, when you've added all that size and you added all that density, the midsection gets a little bit more distension to it to hold that kind of mass. Then when you take the mass off, it don't come off from here. It comes off from the arms and everything else, and this still tends to stay thick. Once you've gone that threshold and you try to come back down, the aesthetics aren't the same.
But you see, his waist and everything does come down tight.
But also another thing, he was an open bodybuilder. And if you look at it, like I said, the only thing that's changed really are his legs.
That's it.
Like the rest of them stayed open bodybuilder.
His back width was stupid and thick, bro. Come on, Ben.
Like I said,
yeah, that's exactly the point. You can lose size in your legs because you haven't trained them for 2 years, but everything else is he's still in he said he ate like almost 6,000 calories, and he's like in off season, he's building muscle. You're just adding more maturity and density to your already big muscles.
Hey, I think the guy's going to get his pro card at the Arnold Amateur. Remember I told you guys we got it on record. I think he'll win his pro card.
It's possible.
Possible. Yeah, he just has to downsize.
He just needs to
game
diet. He needs to diet hard for the next 12 weeks, and he will be lights out.
Lose that size. Yeah,
he needs to like train with volume, not really pushing the weight.
Yeah,
I mean, he can afford to like train 3 days a week. Basically,
about his dieting, you never talked about the training. His training has to be completely different than what he's been doing all these years.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, what you're gonna tell him is stop training.
Well, dude,
no, like, as he said, high volume, high reps. None of that failure, like 8 to 10 rep stuff, because that's only going to build more size.
Yeah. Put him through one of your bikini workouts, you know?
Hey, listen, my bikini girls got muscle. Shit, I gotta bring them down in size.
Look, he could get his pro card. Jeremy Buendia could win the Olympia, but they're both not likely. You know?
Oh man, Ryan causing controversy.
I don't know, man. Like, I know everybody's saying Jeremy can't come back and do it. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, he could.
I
Hey,
think
you're gonna have somebody clip that right there of you, Ryan, and they're gonna start some shit.
Started. I don't give a fuck.
like I said, Jeremy's one of those other unique physiques where he's very easy to stand out, and he might stand enough to where it gives him the win again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He looks pretty good in this check-in stuff he's been posting, and good for him.
That's all cool and everything, but no one's gonna beat Brandon.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
Love Brandon.
Unless he comes in off, no one's beating Brandon.
I agree with that. I think he is not beaten. He's not getting beaten next year.
He's complete. He is the complete men's physique package, and he is what the standard is.
Now, yes, for
Brandon, I'm a huge fan. Brandon, I think it's one. If there's a guy who's the most unbeatable, it's Brandon. But I'll tell you what, right now, the way the division is, there is nobody safe because anybody is beatable at this point. Because everybody is so good at the top, man. I think you could 100% say that there's 10 guys that could win the Olympia.
I agree.
If Brandon comes on, we're saying if they all come on point, no one's gonna beat him. If he comes off, yes, somebody could beat him. Absolutely.
I think there's some guys who could come up, man, that can catch him.
The only way Brandon's going to get beat is if somebody who's already like right there fills whatever holes.
Yeah,
I think.
And the only person realistically that could do that is who? Chiron?
I think Chiron could do it.
Last time, I think Banks, man. But he still has to fill up some holes. Like Brandon is complete. And
I'll say it right now. Brandon at 100%, he's unbeatable right now, and I'm on record saying that. I don't care if you disagree with me or not. If he comes 100% on, he's not getting beat.
Ben, here's another thing. I keep saying that to you. There's 12 months left. Whosoever makes the most progress in the top 4, top 3 area, I feel like depends. Like Brandon is amazing. I'm a big fan of him, like winning again. But the thing is, he's also not the most athlete. We know he's been off at the Olympia before. He comes off.
That's the right one.
Just makes that improvement. This 12 months, that's a long time. If you make that, I think, yeah.
Hey, why are we acting like several guys? Hey, you know what scares me is this. I like to have the conversation that people are scared to have. Hang on, let me fix this. I like to talk about the stuff that people are scared of, right? So with that being said, why are we going to act like it wasn't 4 or 5 guys that were off or that weren't all the way on at the Olympia this year? Who would have been right there in the mix? Exactly. Andre was off. Why are we acting like these guys weren't off? Like Ray and Brandon haven't been the top 2 guys in men's physique for the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, they were off. Yeah, for sure. I think
so stop. Yeah, so now all of a sudden that Aaron Banks got a second place, you're acting like, oh man, he's gonna beat Brandon. No, he's not.
Well, because the fans,
because of what the criteria is. That's why I say Aaron Banks.
Brandon is the criteria.
Well, let's just see if E-Banks has. To me, E-Banks has to prove himself.
What they've said they've been wanting for years. Like he fits it to the T. He needs a little bit more fuller chest, maybe a little bit more size in the arms. That's it, man. Better conditioning.
I think E-Banks, to me, has to prove himself by being consistent. Brandon's been so consistent. So if E-Banks comes back with a similar package or a little bit improved, then to me, then I'll say, okay, this guy's a solid contender for the long run.
Chiron wasn't his best at the Olympia. Ray wasn't his best. Andre wasn't his best. Those guys were not their best at the Olympia. We know that. Chiron was better at the muscle contest show a couple weeks later.
He was. I was there. He was better.
So with that being said, we seen at Pittsburgh Pro, Chiron and Ray both finished ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, if Sadiq's coming back, that's going to be interesting too.
Jeremy Buendia is going to be right back in the mix. Jeremy Potvin's right back in the mix. I got Jeremy Potvin in the top 5. Jeremy Buendia, that's going to be the hit or miss where we just need to see what he looks like when he actually gets there.
I think Sadiq could be right back in the mix.
I don't think so.
You saw
no disrespect.
Sadiq for the last
I don't think Sadiq. Man, I seen him at the Arnold, that last Arnold that he did.
Yeah, no, and I prepped him for that, and we only did an 8-week prep after
He got gifted. He got gifted where he finished at. We'll
But
just
he
say
was
that.
big. He was the biggest guy up there.
He
If
was
he has
big,
enough
but
time,
he was washed. His midsection didn't even have good lines in it.
yeah, but that's because we only had 8 weeks to put the size and try to get the conditioning back, right?
I remember that, Ryan.
So, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not coaching anymore, but if he would have had another 5 or 6 weeks on top of that prep, he would have crushed everybody.
So you saying Sadiq is back in the mix in the top 5 or top 10?
I think Sadiq is going to do the Arnold, right?
No, we talking about the Olympia right now, though.
I think Sadiq qualifies for the Olympia. I can see him being back in the top 5.
Wow. So how's all these people getting in the top 5 if Wendy and Potvin and Sadiq is in the top 5? Who's getting bumped out?
Well, I think Brandon will be in there. This could very likely go back to like a 2014, 2015 Olympia lineup, man. Like,
right. So tell me, who's bumping? Who you bumping out? Because y'all keep saying all these people are going to jump into the top 5. They're saying Ryan Terry's in the top 5, Wendy is top 5, Potvin top 5. How the fuck all these people jump in the top 5, but act like Kyron, Banks, Brandon, these guys, Raymond, that they not going to be there?
I mean, those guys are going to be there, but I think a guy like, honestly, I think a guy like Sadiq, on a good day, if he gets this shit right, you know, with the prep, I watched it personally. I watched how fast he grew. You know, our original goal was a 6-month prep. 6 weeks into the prep we were working, he was like, yo, I decided I'm going to do the Arnold. I was like, it's a bad idea. Let's not do it. It's not enough time, right? But he wanted to do it. And so, I mean, I swear he went from not training for 14 months to in 8 weeks was the biggest guy on that stage at the Arnold. And I watched him transform like daily in progress pictures. So his genetics are on another level. It was not enough time to completely refine the conditioning because we tried to put as much size as we could. But
hey, Freddie said he's making his comeback too.
I think what Freddie's trying to say is that, and I kind of agree with him, is that anybody who's trying to make a comeback is going to be that much harder because these guys who've been competing for all these years and have been establishing themselves through pro shows, through Olympias, it's not that you just come in and then displace these guys that easily.
Well,
so I think it's a lot harder for any of the guys who haven't competed in the last couple of years versus the guys who've been consistently competing. Whether it's a guy like Eric Banks who's only done one Olympiad, one season, versus somebody who hasn't done 2 or 3 Olympias altogether and is trying to come back. And that includes Sadiq, that includes Jeremy, that includes anybody who hasn't shown up at Olympia or at the pro shows all these years. Things have changed. It's not the same anymore. Judges recognize the guys who've been putting in the effort over the years, not what some guys who and then 3 years later they're just waking up to come back again.
Good point, Freddie. Freddie said if you let off the gas, now you got to catch up to all these guys.
Well, but here's the thing. So the moral of the story is if you see E. Banks' name on the roster in a Texas show, don't go because we know Freddie likes him. So.
You guys keep talking about these guys who keep playing catch up. After I took 2019 off, everybody wrote me off. The same, every single person. That wasn't in one single prediction.
Yeah.
But you took 1 year off. Jeremy, you took 1 year off.
And Jeremy, when you took a year off, did you completely stop training or lose all your muscle and have all these injuries and setbacks like a Jeremy Buendia did? No.
Never said
better than he ever has.
Do what?
I just feel like when you took the year off, you only took 1 year off. Everybody kind of needs you still in that mix. You're taking a break. Whereas when you take 2, 3 years off, it's so much more different.
It is. It is different. I'm not going to say it's not, but I'm just saying it's very easy to get written. And I mean, fuck, work ethic, genetics, muscle memory, all that shit goes a long way.
That's true.
I think it is a structure game now. It's more of a structure game than it used to be. So, I mean, I think, you know, these physiques where obviously you have the smaller weight.
I also feel like when you took that year off, you wanted to be off. Like, you were still training. You were still in shape. You weren't like stage shape, but you were still in shape enough to, you know, be active on social media. You were still like all year long. That's the year you probably gained the most on social media. I think that's what I recall. That year you gained the most on social media. No? Okay. Because I thought that's the year that you were actually still posting so much social media, workouts, everything, that you were active. You just weren't competing.
Yeah, I just wasn't competing. That was
whereas a lot of these guys who have been like completely off, like they have in that shape that you need now. Plus, things have changed. Like you saw how this year has gone. It's insane how competitive men's physique has gotten in the last like 2 years, not even like 1 year now, last 2 years.
Oh, the new. I mean, fuck. Your top 5 before is like top 10 now.
Yeah, it was everybody who was in the top 5 call out from back then used to always win pro shows. Now you already see that's not going to happen anymore. Nobody's guaranteed. Nobody's like, everybody has to be like square up. Everybody has to start from everybody's at the level now. So any guy from like any new guy who turns pro can be the guy who's top 5 at the Olympia.
Hold on, say that again.
Any new pro who has just recently started competing can beat a guy from the Olympia if they don't show up at their 100%. We saw that happen. In Brazil, like we saw that if you don't show up at your 100%, somebody is gonna show up at 100% and beat you.
I'm calling my prediction right now. First place, the top 3 is going to be Sadiq, Jeremy Buendia, and Jason Poston.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes. Clip this, guys. Clip it.
Was that 2000? What was that? 15?
Yeah, we're back to 2016, 15, 14.
That's it right there.
Hey, don't forget, you can't leave out George Brown right there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, Ben, I'm gonna head off.
Yeah, dude.
Our live. I'm gonna head off. I have a shoot right now.
Yeah, that's enough, fellas. All right, man. Hey,
all right.
It's been real. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Coach's Corner. If you missed it, watch the IGTV. It will be posted. BHUWAN Hey, BHUWAN, tell them again before we get off here.
Well, I got on this whole Coach's Corner thing because I got like hundreds of DMs, I got hundreds of comments, and I kind of feel like I'm like Jeremy, but not as extreme as he is. I stay quiet until like I just can't keep quiet anymore, and everybody was like trying to question me and trying to get at me, and like how people, like all these athletes from India, some other coaches are just talking shit behind my back. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get on here. Let's make that challenge. If anybody wants to compete, just come up, show up. Don't try to talk on social media. This is immature as fuck. Come show up at the show, and then we'll see who is better.
Tell them what show you telling them to come to, BHUWAN.
Well, I told them Toronto Pro because it's the easiest show to do. Canada's visa, and if everybody is watching right now, Canada's visa is the easiest to get as an Indian. Get your visa in line. There's still 6 months. Get your visas in track. Get your tickets on track. If you need any help, I'll give you a letter to give to the embassy, and come show up at the Toronto Pro. If there's any other show in US you want to show up to, I think Jeremy just asked me. New York Pro, most likely yes. Pittsburgh Pro, yes. Some other shows, yes. India Pro show, yes. So yeah, I'll see you guys at some of those other shows. All the Indians who are watching this.
There it is.
Get your shots. We'll see you there.
And my man Jeremy Poppin said, anybody that wants to show up at the New York Pro, that's where he's making his return, May 21st.
Yeah, all the competition, please.
It'll be a fun year.
Just makes it fun. We got to put on.
I agree. This just made it so much fun. Like just Toronto, like me talking right now, just made it so much more fun. And New York, like me doing that just to like, go against on stage with Jeremy. I think that itself is such a great accomplishment to just stand on stage with him and just compete.
Yeah. Hey, and why don't we all just go ahead and pull up to Freddie's show, the Texas Pro, August 13th weekend.
Shout out to Freddie. Texas, he's been doing right. His shows are dope.
Omar's like, if you come to America, bring me some butter chicken. Omar, like you can find butter chicken in US. I get the same butter chicken in Canada that you get in US.
I need some of that butter chicken too.
You need it from India.
All right, fellas. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in, man. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one.
All right, see you guys.